Fear is one of the most powerful forces in our lives, and too often we see it as the enemy. We try to run from it, avoid it, and when we can't escape it, we let it paralyze us. But here's the truth: fear is not your enemy. Fear is a signal, a sign that you are about to step outside your comfort zone, that you are on the edge of growth. Fear is not something to fear, it's something to harness. It is your greatest ally in the pursuit of greatness. Think about it for a second. Every breakthrough, every moment of transformation happens on the other side of fear. The most successful people, the highest achievers, the ones who live the most fulfilled lives, they've all felt fear. They felt it in their bones, but they didn't let it stop them. They used it. They let fear drive them, motivate them, and show them the way. When you feel that fear rise up within you, it's not a sign to pull back. It's a sign to push forward. You see, fear is not just something that you feel, it's a guide. It points you to what you care about. It's telling you that something important is at stake. If you weren't doing something worth doing, fear wouldn't be present. If you weren't on the path to growth, fear wouldn't be knocking at your door. Fear doesn't show up when you're playing small, it shows up when you're about to play big. But let's be honest, fear can be intimidating. It can feel overwhelming. The key is not to let it control you. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the willingness to act in spite of it. It's doing it even though you're scared. It's feeling the fear, but not letting it paralyze you. Courage is not about eliminating fear, it's about using it, understanding it, and mastering it. So how do you master fear? First, you have to reframe your perspective. Most people try to run away from fear. They avoid it like it's the enemy, but in reality, fear is the gateway to your next level. Every time you push through fear, you expand your comfort zone, you stretch your capabilities, and you open the door to new opportunities. Fear tells you where you need to grow. When you feel it, ask yourself what's on the other side of this. Because that's where your growth is waiting. That's where your dreams are. Fear is universal. Everyone feels it. Every great leader, every high performer, every trailblazer, guess what? They've all felt fear. But what sets them apart is their ability to use that fear to propel them forward instead of holding them back. If you want to make a change in your life, if you want to reach for something bigger, you have to embrace fear as part of the process. It's there to help you grow, not to stop you. Now, let me give you a little secret. You don't have to tackle fear all at once. Start small. Break your goals into manageable steps. Fear often feels overwhelming when we look at the whole mountain. But when we focus on just the next step, it becomes a lot more manageable. Take one small action at a time. Each step you take, you build momentum, you gain confidence, and before you know it, fear no longer has a grip on you. You start controlling it instead of it controlling you. And let me be clear, there's a difference between fear and anxiety. Fear is a natural, healthy response to a challenge. It's part of being human. Anxiety, on the other hand, is often rooted in uncertainty or fear of things that haven't even happened yet. Anxiety can paralyze you, while fear, when used correctly, will energize you. Learn to differentiate between the two, and let fear be your fuel rather than your foe. But here's the most important thing I want you to remember today: fear doesn't define you. You do. Fear is simply a tool, it's a resource. You don't need to eliminate fear, you need to master it. When you can control your fear, you can control your destiny. Fear is not a sign to quit, it's a signal to push harder. Fear is not something that holds you back, it's the fuel that propels you to the next level. Use it, master it, and watch as you become unstoppable. Fear is often seen as a signal to retreat, to avoid taking risks or facing the unknown, but in reality, fear is one of the most powerful opportunities for growth and transformation. When you feel fear rising within you, it's not a sign to run away, it's a sign that you're on the edge of something significant. Fear is a natural response to change, and change is the precursor to progress. It means you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and that's where the magic happens. Now think about the times in your life when you've experienced fear. Most likely those were moments when you were pushing yourself to achieve something greater, whether it was pursuing a new career, speaking in front of an audience, or challenging yourself physically or emotionally. Fear shows up in these moments because your potential is expanding. It's your mind and body telling you that you are about to do something extraordinary. If you avoid those moments, you stay stuck in the same place. But if you lean into them, fear becomes the gateway to a new level of performance, confidence, and fulfillment. Fear forces you to face your limits and ask, what am I truly capable of? And in doing so, you unlock a deeper understanding of your strengths, your resilience, and your true potential. When you embrace fear, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities, where the greatest opportunities are often found on the other side of your deepest fears. Fear, in this sense, is not something to avoid, but something to embrace as a tool for your personal evolution. Reframing your perspective on fear is one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your life. Instead of seeing fear as an obstacle, view it as a signal, a message that you're on the verge of growth or change. Fear often appears when we're about to step into unfamiliar territory, and while the natural instinct is to pull back, what if we could train ourselves to see fear differently? I think of fear as a compass that's pointing you toward the areas of your life that need attention or growth. When you feel fear, instead of running from it, you could ask yourself, what is this fear trying to teach me? What is it showing me about where I'm playing small or avoiding something important? By changing how you look at fear, you begin to see it not as a threat, but as a tool to guide you to greater success. When you reframe fear, it loses its power to paralyze you. It shifts from something that holds you back to something that propels you forward. The next time fear arises, don't let it trigger avoidance. Instead, let it ignite curiosity. Instead of, I can't do this, ask yourself, what do I need to learn to make this possible? Fear is no longer the enemy, it's a partner in your growth. The moments that challenge you the most, the moments you feel fear the strongest, are often the very moments where your biggest breakthroughs await. Fear is a deeply human experience, something we all face no matter how successful or accomplished we may seem. It's easy to look at others, especially those who appear confident or high achieving, and think that they've somehow mastered fear, that it doesn't touch them. But the truth is, everyone experiences fear. The difference is in how we respond to it. Fear isn't reserved for beginners or those who haven't made it. It's present at every level, in every challenge. Whether you're taking your first steps into the unknown or you're leading a large company through uncharted waters, fear will be there. It shows up when you face a new opportunity, when you take a risk, when you stretch beyond your comfort zone. In fact, the higher the stakes, the greater the fear. But here's the thing, fear isn't a sign of weakness or inadequacy. It's part of the human condition. The key isn't to eliminate fear, but to recognize that everyone feels it. The most successful individuals, the most influential leaders, they experience fear just like anyone else. What sets them apart is their ability to continue moving forward despite it. They don't allow fear to dictate their actions. Instead, they understand that fear is simply a signal that they're moving towards something significant, that they're on the edge of their potential. Knowing that fear is universal allows us to embrace it without judgment. It's not something to be ashamed of. Instead, it's something to acknowledge, accept, and use as a tool for growth. Courage is often misunderstood as the absence of fear, but in reality, courage is the ability to act despite fear. It's not about being fearless, it's about making the decision to move forward even when your heart is racing, your palms are sweating, and doubt is whispering in your ear. Courage is the force that allows you to take that first step when every part of you wants to hold back, to keep going when the path ahead seems uncertain or intimidating. What makes courage so powerful is that it doesn't require perfection or guarantees. It requires faith in yourself, even when you don't have all the answers. Courage is what enables you to show up, even when the fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown feels overwhelming. It's what drives people to start businesses, pursue new ventures, or speak their truth despite the risks involved. In many ways, courage is the difference between a life lived in hesitation and a life of bold action. Every time you act in spite of fear, you build your capacity for courage. It becomes a muscle that gets stronger the more you use it. You don't wait until you're not afraid to take action, you take action because you're afraid. And in doing so, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. Courage is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to go, and it's available to you the moment you decide to embrace fear and take that leap. Growth can only happen when you push yourself beyond the limits of what feels comfortable. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeking safety and familiarity because they offer a sense of control. But the truth is, staying within your comfort zone is a sure way to stall your progress. Real growth, the kind that transforms you into the person you're meant to be, happens when you challenge yourself, when you step into the unknown and face your fears head on. Every time you take a step outside of your comfort zone, you expand your potential. The discomfort you feel is not a sign that you should stop, it's a sign that you are on the verge of something bigger. It's when you encounter challenges, setbacks, and unfamiliar situations that you learn new skills, develop resilience, and discover strengths you never knew you had. If you keep repeating the same actions, staying within familiar boundaries, you're going to keep getting the same results. True evolution comes when you're willing to stretch, to embrace the discomfort, and to keep going even when things feel uncertain. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It requires intentionality. The more you make a habit of stepping into new challenges, the more you train yourself to embrace uncertainty, and the more confident and capable you become. When you stop seeking comfort and start seeking growth, you open yourself up to endless possibilities. The life-changing breakthroughs are never found in the comfort zone, they're always waiting just beyond it. Fear plays a crucial role in decision-making, often acting as a compass that helps us navigate life's uncertainties. When faced with a choice, especially one that takes us outside of our comfort zone, fear can trigger a response that sharpens our focus and forces us to evaluate our options more carefully. Rather than seeing fear as a barrier, you can start to view it as a signal and opportunity to pause, reflect, and make more intentional decisions. When fear arises, it doesn't always mean you should avoid the decision. Often it's telling you that the decision is significant and requires attention. Fear is the body's way of alerting us to potential risks, but it can also highlight the areas where we're being called to grow. In those moments, instead of letting fear control you, you can use it to make better informed choices. Fear forces you to consider the potential consequences, weigh the pros and cons, and push you to take calculated risks rather than making impulsive or reckless decisions. Furthermore, fear can help you clarify your values. When you're scared of a decision, it often means something you deeply care about is at stake, whether that's your career, relationships, or personal growth. In this way, fear can direct you to what truly matters, helping you align your decisions with your purpose. It's not about eliminating fear, it's about recognizing it as a tool that, when properly understood and managed, can lead to more deliberate and impactful choices. While fear and anxiety are often used interchangeably, they are distinct emotions with different implications for how we navigate our lives. Fear is a natural, healthy response to an immediate threat or danger. It's the body's way of preparing to fight, flee, or freeze. Fear is focused on a specific situation or event. For example, if you're standing at the edge of a cliff or facing an important presentation, your fear is tied to that moment, and it sharpens your senses, heightening your focus. It is a survival mechanism designed to protect you, helping you stay alert and make decisions quickly. Anxiety, on the other hand, is more diffuse and often future-oriented. It is the constant state of unease or dread that may not be tied to any one specific event, but is the result of worrying about what could happen. Anxiety tends to escalate, spiraling out of control and leading to overthinking and paralysis. Unlike fear, anxiety isn't always based in reality. It's often the mind imagining worst-case scenarios, many of which may never come to pass. Anxiety creates an ongoing sense of tension and uncertainty, draining energy and preventing action. Understanding this difference is critical. Fear, when managed properly, can be a motivating force, helping you perform at your best when it counts. Anxiety, however, if left unchecked, can lead to overwhelm, inaction, and avoidance. The key is recognizing when fear is a signal to act, and when anxiety is a signal to pause. Ground yourself and challenge the assumptions fueling your worries. When faced with a large goal or challenge, the idea of taking bold, massive action can feel overwhelming. That's where the power of small steps comes in. Rather than trying to tackle everything all at once, breaking your larger vision into manageable, bite-sized actions makes the process more approachable and less intimidating. Small steps reduce the fear and anxiety that often come with the thought of a huge leap, and they allow you to build momentum over time. Each small step you take not only moves you closer to your goal, but also builds confidence. The act of making consistent progress, no matter how minor it seems, reinforces the belief that you are capable of success. The key is to focus on the immediate action in front of you rather than the end result, and trust that each step is part of a bigger picture. This process helps you overcome procrastination, as the pressure to achieve everything at once is removed. Instead, you're simply focusing on one thing at a time, which makes it easier to stay in motion. Small steps also provide valuable feedback. As you make progress, you learn more about what works and what doesn't, allowing you to adjust your strategy. You gain clarity, develop skills, and identify obstacles you might not have seen from a distance. These incremental actions compound over time, and before you know it, you've made significant strides toward achieving your larger goal without the overwhelm that often holds people back. Fear, when harnessed correctly, can be a powerful source of focus and energy. Often we think of fear as something that holds us back, but it can actually sharpen our attention and help us perform at our highest level. When you're faced with a challenging situation, fear triggers a heightened state of awareness. Your senses become more acute, your mind more alert, and your body primed for action. This intense focus can help you navigate uncertainty, make faster decisions, and stay on task when distractions might otherwise pull you off course. In moments of fear, the brain enters a heightened state of vigilance, what some call the fight or flight response. This physiological reaction not only prepares you to deal with danger, but also sharpens your cognitive abilities, enabling you to focus on the task at hand. When you're afraid of failing a big presentation, missing an important deadline, or not measuring up, fear can drive you to prioritize, eliminate distractions, and give your full attention to what matters most. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, recognize that it's a natural response designed to focus your energy. You can use it as a signal to direct your efforts toward what's most important, heightening your ability to perform under pressure. When you feel fear, shift your mindset. Instead of viewing it as a negative emotion, see it as a reminder to concentrate your efforts, stay present, and engage fully with the task before you. Fear, in this sense, becomes fuel for clarity and focus, pushing you toward your best performance. Mastering your fear is not about eliminating it, it's about learning how to control it, understand it, and use it to your advantage. Fear is an instinctive response that, left unchecked, can dictate your actions and hold you back from reaching your full potential. However, when you take charge of your fear, you transform it from something that limits you into a tool that drives you toward success. The first step in mastering fear is acknowledging it. Often we try to ignore or suppress our fear, thinking that by pretending it doesn't exist, we can move forward. But fear doesn't disappear just because we ignore it. In fact, avoiding fear often makes it stronger and more paralyzing. Instead, recognize fear for what it is, a natural emotion that is trying to signal something important. Once you acknowledge it, you can address it directly. Next, reframe your relationship with fear. Instead of seeing fear as a sign of weakness or failure, start viewing it as an ally. Fear shows up when you are stepping outside your comfort zone, when you are about to grow or push yourself to new limits. By reframing fear, you can start to welcome it as a necessary part of your journey. Fear is simply telling you that you care about something, whether it's your personal growth, your dreams, or your goals. Finally, practice taking action despite fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. With every step you take, you build your ability to control fear rather than letting it control you. Over time, as you consistently face fear head-on, you gain confidence in your ability to overcome challenges. Fear no longer becomes a roadblock, it becomes the catalyst for your growth. Remember, fear is not your enemy, it's a signpost pointing you toward growth, opportunity, and greatness. Every time you face fear and choose to move forward anyway, you expand your limits and unlock new levels of potential within yourself. Don't let fear stop you. Let it propel you. The greatest achievements, the most profound transformations are never found in the comfort zone. They're found in the moments when you choose courage over doubt, action over hesitation, and growth over safety. So take that first step, embrace the discomfort, and use fear as the fuel that drives you to become the person you are capable of being. The life you've always dreamed of is waiting on the other side of your fear. Now go out and claim it.